I'm getting mine, ain't no rush. This perfection coming up. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. In the end, it's gonna be us. Don't need a spotlight on this grind. I run it up. Been the cut, gotta eat, skip the sleep. Till the work done, I be up. I'm getting mine, ain't no rush. This perfection coming up. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. In the end, it's gonna be us. Don't need a spotlight on this grind. I run it up. Been the cut, gotta eat.
Cleveland Homes, if you professional. Showtime if you nasty. Welcome back to the Crosscast. How everybody doing this week? Yeah, I say that like I can hear what you say, right? Me, I'm doing alright, man. As usual, a lot of self-reflecting, man. So that's kind of where I draw this inspiration for these episodes. I'm gonna start off with talking about NBA player Dennis Schroeder, man. He shook the tree, man. Now, for those who don't know, as a point guard, he played with the Lakers last season. He did all right, you know. He does his thing, but he didn't go over the top. And now they offered this man an $80 million contract, and he felt like he wanted a $120 million contract, and that's fine, you know. Go for what you feel you're worth. Ain't nothing wrong with valuing yourself a certain way. If you don't value yourself, why would anybody else? But I heard this saying on a podcast I listened to. There's an art to shaking the tree. He shook the tree, and he clearly did not know the art to shaking the tree. One thing, when you shaking the tree, you have to have a certain level of self-awareness, and you have to realize where your leverage is. He clearly didn't see that. He asked for more than they were willing to pay him. I don't see any team in the league giving him what he asked for, and he ends up signing yesterday with the Boston Celtics for $5-point-something million. You could have just been making $20 million a year. Instead, now you're making 5 point whatever the hell. Self-awareness, people, and leverage. That's huge, man. That's something that you need to pay attention to. Do your research. What are other guards that are playing at your level? You can feel like you're better than the competition around you, but the numbers don't lie. You know, and that's what teams are looking at. These teams are businesses, and this can apply to anything, even outside of basketball. I'm just using him as an example. Know what's going on. Know what other people that are performing at or around your level, what are they getting paid? You know, like you asking for something way bigger than what you playing at, than the level you're playing at. Maybe you feel like you're capable of doing this to this level to deserve this, but if someone else is cutting your check, they need to believe it too. It's not just about you, you know, when you're dealing with other people. So just self-awareness, man. Self-awareness. Know where your leverage is. When you're dealing with a team that's like, hey, we could ball the same way whether you're here or not. What we brought you in for, you didn't feel that role. So why would we pay you more than this? And like we're offering you something great here. But to each his own. I do, however, commend him on his self-confidence. You know, I'm sure that was not the easiest decision to make, to say, no, I'm gonna turn down this $80 million. Like, I can't think of too many jobs I would turn down at $80 million. You know, that's a substantial amount of money. So self-confidence, he gets an A+ in that department. Self-awareness, you might get a lower grade than that. But I hope for his sake, when he goes out there and does this season, he proves that he's worth every penny that he was asking for. So after this year's up, he can get what he feels he deserves. You're not only what you've done, you are what you are now. So, and I'm gonna use that to jump straight into my main topic for the day, which is Live and let live, man. And what do I mean by live and let live? You live. Do your thing, man. Like, okay, I'll use myself as the example. Everything I've done in the past might lead someone who has known me or knew me back when to believe that I'm a certain way. So when you see me jump in front of this camera or in front of this microphone and talk to people more positive, what's the word I'm looking for? We'll just say positive. Just I'm more positive, more like, hey, let's do the right thing as opposed to let's go out here and do whatever the hell we feel like doing. I wasn't always this way. Now, does that mean because someone else's idea of me, I need to be stuck in that place or beat myself up about decisions I've made in the past and just let that be me because I was this a certain way before? My past does not have to define me, just like your past doesn't have to define you. Now, that doesn't mean, well, that part of me just is dead and gone. No, that's a dimension of me or a dimension of you. That's a piece of who you are. That's not all that you are. There's more, because in a given situation, I may revert back to some of those old tactics because there is beneficial properties there. There's not many, but there are some. But that's part of what I mean by live. Like, you don't have to stay where you were at. Like, for instance, let's say you want to start doing music. I notice, like, nowadays with the internet being as big as it is, people are able to distribute music without having deals. So a lot of people are jumping into music where people like, y'all too old to be rapping, or you're not a rapper, you would do this, you worked at McDonald's, blah, 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 blah. That don't mean shit. That doesn't mean anything. Like, okay, you did this before. What are you doing now? If this is what you want to do now, live that, be that. Let that be your truth. Let that be what you do. And do that. There's nothing wrong with adding to you as a person. You don't have to stay where you were at. And when I say, like, let live, okay, I've caught myself doing this. Where maybe I'll use for instance, I see a girl on Instagram. She's kind of popping on her IG. She's doing the real girly girl thing, and I know her different than that. The her that I know is a younger her, tennis shoes, basketball, just the opposite of what I'm seeing now. And for a minute, I was kind of looking at it, I'm turning my nose up at it, like, man, that's not you. And like, I had to sit down and really realize to myself, like, who the fuck am I to decide who you are? Just because I knew you in the past and you were like this. I don't get to decide that. Just like nobody gets to decide that for you. You get to decide who you are, what you want to be, what image you want to put out there, what type of energy you want to present, what aspects of your life you want to highlight. That's up to you, and that's up to the other person. You shouldn't. It's not wise to put someone else in a box. That's why do you feel like you can put someone else in a box when they feel like they're somewhere else? If they feel like that's where they're at, then damn it, that's where they're at. You just wasting your energy and wasting your time, and you actually may miss out on something that they have to offer that could be beneficial for you to understand, because you decided this person is this because that's what I saw before. That's not true. That's not true, and that's not your thing that's not for you to decide. It's like, that's not for me to decide what that girl is, or if she's being phony, or if she's trying to be somebody she's not. That's not for me to decide. That's for her to decide. Because I'm sure she goes to bed fine every night, and she ain't worried about what the hell I'm talking about. And she shouldn't be. And just me realizing what I was doing, I was able to stop looking at her like that and just look at her for what she is. And it's like, hey, I can respect that now. Like, you're doing what you do, you're making money doing what you do, is helping with whatever it is you do for work. Good job. I need to be applauding you instead of looking at you and deciding, oh, you used to be like this. I know that you're like this. That's not cool. So, like, let live. When you see somebody trying something new, acknowledge it for what it is. Okay, you're trying this. Instead of saying, you're not that, you're this. No, you're trying something new. I don't have to like it. Now, I'm not saying, just love everything everybody does. No, I'm not saying that. You don't have to like anything. I don't have to like anything. But it's easier on me to just acknowledge things for what they are, as opposed to me deciding what I think it should be or what I think it used to be. It's a waste of time and a waste of energy, and it's hating. You're being a hater for real. Like, if I'm telling you, or not even telling you, if I'm thinking in my head, you're not that, you're this, and you're showing and you're doing everything that you say you are, so it's not like you're being one way in front of people and then another way somewhere else. I'm not around you to see that. All I see is what it is you're doing, and it looks like, hey, you're keeping this up, and this is what you're doing, so that's what you are. And that's okay. Like, live and let live. Don't allow anyone to put you into a box based off of whatever they may know of you. Don't put yourself in a box based off of things you've done in the past. You're allowed to grow. You're allowed to change. You're allowed to do whatever you want. You don't have to limit yourself because of things you've done in the past. And I know that's probably something that scares people when it comes to trying to get into a new space. Everybody know me as this. I can't present that to them. Da 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 da. That's another reason why. Well, should I say, there's a way to combat that if that is a hurdle that you have. Getting caught up in what you think other people think about you. Some people, it's not as easy for them to maneuver out of that space, being wherever they're at. That's why a lot of people will maybe move or try to get into a different crowd. It's easier. It seems like it's easier to get a stranger's support than it is someone who's known you forever or known of you. Like, maybe y'all not the closest of friends, but maybe you went to school together and they look at you as still this guy. So maybe they don't support what you're doing. And that's fine. Fuck them. Reach out to a new audience. That's the beauty of a new audience. They don't have any preconceived notion of you. It's just whatever they're introduced as, whatever you're introduced to them as. So, say somebody that's watching me do this or has been keeping up with me doing this. This is what you know me as. This is all you know. So it's easier for you to take a liking to this than it might be for somebody who maybe in the street I didn't fuck with like that, or maybe we had problems. It's harder for maybe you to like me doing this, to like me in this space. Or maybe somebody who we was super close when we was outside doing nonsense. Maybe you see this me and you like, this nigga corny. You allowed to think that. You wasting your time, because I'm still me. I'm still same principles. I'm just at a different point in life. I see the flaw in how I was living before, and I see the upside to how I'm living now. And this is what I choose to share. This is the energy that I choose to put out there. Ain't nothing wrong with that. So just like I would want someone to receive me how I'm portraying right now, because this is actually how I am. You could see me in front of the camera. You could see me behind the mic. You could see me off the air. I'm going to be the same way. This is what I'm doing. Who are you to tell me I'm not that? But with a new audience, they're more inclined to believe it because they don't know anything else. So if one of your problems, maybe if you're somebody that's maybe a creator or a new entrepreneur or just somebody who is moving different than they used to, there's nothing wrong with going out and finding new people. You don't have to appeal to everybody you've known. You can appeal to new people. And new people are more susceptible to get on the train and move with you accordingly, because this is what they know. It's a whole world out there. It's not just where you've been. There's a whole bunch of other places to go, a whole bunch of other people to meet, a whole new audience for you, whatever it is that you're doing. So just don't get stuck in one place. Don't get caught up in one aspect of your life. Life changes, moves, people grow, people learn more. And the more that you know, the more you're responsible for knowing. I mean, if that makes any sense. Once you know better, you should do better. You can't do something you don't know. If all you know is one thing, then yeah, you're going to move like you only know that one thing. That's understandable. That's human. All you can do is all you can do. So just be mindful of that and take advantage of it. Take advantage of those new audiences. Put yourself out there if you're doing something that requires that. Don't be afraid to jump out in front of new faces and present your new idea to a new crowd or your new creation to new people. That's how you grow anyway. Things are bigger than where you've been or where you're at the moment. It's never too late, especially with us creators, man. Like, the creativity reaches so far. It reaches so far and you have to take advantage of it, man. That's the best part about it. Like, especially when we do creative things like that's online or on podcast apps, or we can literally reach anywhere on the planet. Like, people everywhere can get a taste of what it is you're doing. So if the people that are around where you were at, if they not getting into it, that don't mean it don't work. That mean it don't work for them. But there's some people the next city over that whatever you're doing might be exactly what they need. That's what they're craving. So shoot your shit, man. Take your shots, man. Go for it, man. Whatever it is, go for it and go all the way. It's worst case scenario, shit don't work and you learn what didn't work. Or worst case scenario, you're in the same place you are now. But at least you would know, hey, I gave it a shot and I really put everything I had into it. That also ties in with that self-awareness. If you suck at something, you suck at it. Like, I can't be like, oh yeah, I'm a basketball player now, but I can't shoot. That kind of defeats the purpose. Or, be self-aware. You know when you're good at something because you know what the other good people seem like. There's research, people. Research. Now, maybe if you're doing something you're new to, you should probably research who's the best at this, who's good at it, who's the worst. Where do you fall in there? You know, like I don't encourage you to do something that you suck at and expect everyone else to jump on board with it. Like you suck. If you suck, you suck. You know, that's not to say you can't get better, but just know where you're at, and you can be like, okay, I can see why I'm getting this result because I'm not really good at this. You know, I hate to be so blunt, but everybody's not good at everything. I'm not good at everything. I like to think I am, but realistically, there's no way I could be good at everything because I don't put the time into everything to be good at everything. So it doesn't make sense, you know. Let's see, man. Oh, while I'm thinking about it, since I did mention like for people that do music, man, you know I'm on my making music great again kick. So this week's pick for that, Don Toliver, man. Don Toliver, he got a older album called Donnie Womack. That shit to me, that shit's a classic. It's like it's all his sound. It don't really sound like anyone else. None of his music really sounds like anyone else. You know it's him when you hear him. But like that project, I could listen to it front to back, no problem. And I'll do it more than once. You know, I was actually just listening to it earlier. That's my shit, man. I feel like he really showed his creativity on that. He did his thing, man, and that it's a complete project. You get different looks, different sounds, different types of songs, but it's all like his sound. And I'm noticing, you know, this year he's dropped a couple videos, so I'm excited to see what his next project is like. I'll definitely keep y'all posted on once I do see it and a complete project drops. Hopefully it's this year. You know, I like the guy, man. He was poised to have a nice year last year, but the whole COVID thing happened. I think that kind of slowed everything down. I was expecting to get something from him. I heard a couple little singles and features and whatnot here and there. It was good, but like I see what he's doing now. These videos are kind of tying together, so it looks like he's making some type of storyline. I'm all for it. I'm here for it. I like when I see creatives get creative. You know, like, okay, you give me a good song, but now you give me some visual to go with it, and I'm seeing this ties into that. It keeps me entertained. Where it's like, it's more than just a music video. It's like, oh, I'm watching the story. So I do like that aspect of it. I like when I see creatives get creative. You know, you could just give me a song in a video it could suffice. But if you can give me more with the same product, why not? I'm here for that. You're not being lazy, so I respect it. I do got a side note person on there. My boy Nas, he dropped another album, King's Disease 2. He actually won a Grammy for his last one that he dropped the other year. Last year, he got a Grammy for King's Disease Part 1. I like to see people like Nas. Like that's one of the MCs I look at. He's definitely in my top 5. So to see him still making music, and he's up higher 40s age wise, like to see you still dropping some music that I'm into, which I would be into even if it wasn't like more trendy. Just because it's like I know how you talk, I know what you're talking about. I'm there. But it's nice to see him transition and still keep current with the sound. You know, he had Hit Boy producing on there. So I'm into the project. I like it. He had a nice little verse from Lauryn Hill, you know, for those fans of Lauryn Hill. She dropped a nice verse on there. I did see some people kind of going crazy about it. It's a great verse. Don't get me wrong. It's a great verse. They're like, this is probably the best female verse ever. And it's like, you're reaching. But then again, I might have to listen to it a couple times. Maybe caught something I didn't catch. It was a dope verse though. It was definitely one of the better verses I've heard. Not just female, just it was a great verse, male or female. But if we're just gonna say for ladies, especially with what's kind of popping these days with ladies, it was definitely refreshing. You know, it wasn't a bunch of twerk my ass, get all the money, nigga, you can fuck if you got a bag. It wasn't all that. So that was definitely refreshing for me. That's not my favorite style of music because I have mother, I have sisters, I have nieces. I know that women have more to offer than that. So I would like to hear more of them saying those other things that they have to offer. Like every girl's got a coochie and an ass. You know? So like what I like to hear them when they get off into their bag and they talking about, you know, them. What else do you have to offer? You're loyal, you stuff like that. Whatever. That's my preference. Who cares what I think, right? You shouldn't care because I'm right. But yeah, so my make music great again people's Don Toliver, Nas, you can't go wrong with Nas, usually ever. I got me some tea today, so you know, I really came to pod. It's good shit. Well, yeah, let's jump back to that live and let live, because I want to reiterate how important that is. One reason to let live is important is that's your energy, that's your attention. Nothing in this world is free. Nothing is free. You might, even if you're just paying attention, that's actually the steepest price to pay. Well, I'd rather pay money than pay attention for something that I don't need. You know, because if I'm paying my attention, it means I'm giving my energy. It means I'm giving my time. If I'm giving my time and energy to something that I don't need or that's not helpful to me, that's wasting my life. You know, it's a lot easier on me to let live. Meaning, if you're doing this over there and I don't think you should be doing it, or if I don't think that's you, it's easier on me and my energy to just let you do what it is you're doing, and I can always ignore it. Then I'm not paying anything for something. If I decide I don't like something, I don't have to sit there and dwell on not liking it or how I think they should be going about something or what I think you should be doing. I can just ignore it. Live and let live. I'll let you live. You go over there and do your one too. I don't have to pay that any mind. Now it's free because I'm not paying it attention. I'm not doing anything with it. It's just there, over there, doing what it does. It doesn't have to bother me. You don't have to bother me. It's not my business, you know? And when it comes to me living, I would hope that if you don't like something about me, or if you think I'm a certain way, you would ignore me. One, if you did tell me something that you thought, oh, you should be doing it, and I don't agree with it, I'm going to ignore you. I'm going to live. Whatever your opinion of me is not important to me. Rather it be good or bad. You know? Like, okay, for instance, the other day, there's a guy, he goes to my gym. I actually used to work with him in the past. I don't care for that guy. I don't like him really. So instead of focusing on not liking him, I don't pay him any mind. He has a buddy that he works out with that is actually a cool dude. So when I see him, you know, he'd be like, hey, what's up? You know, give each other fist pound, maybe exchange a couple words, and go on about our business. So I guess yesterday, the guy works up the nerve, puts the fist out to me. What's up, man? I'm like, we good? I keep doing what I'm doing. He like, what's up, man? Put his fist out again. I'm like, we good? Keep doing what I'm doing. He's like, you don't want to fist pound me? No. Like, was that petty? Some might think it. To me, it's like I don't want to open up that. I don't want to open up that communication. I like it the way it is. We don't communicate. We don't acknowledge each other. There ain't no beef. You know, I don't hate you. When I see you, it's not like, oh, I want to fight. But it's like, you know what's up with me. You know how I'm coming, and I know how you coming. And we ain't coming the same way. So we ain't got to sit here and fake the funk. We can just ignore each other and go on about our business. I don't got to be fake with you. I don't have to act like we're buddies, because all it takes is me. One day I'm fist pounding you. Next day you're telling me hi every time you see me. Then next thing you know, you're trying to have a conversation with me, and I don't want to have a conversation with you. You know, like I don't forget that I don't really care for you. I don't want to open up that door. I'd rather it stay where it's at. It does both of us good to just not deal with each other. Now, that's not to say that you can't change as a person. You can't grow. That's not to say that I can't grow and change as a person. But the benefit that I could foresee in that relationship, I don't see it ever being beneficial to me to have that relationship based off of our past encounters. So why would I try to make that a thing when we were just fine the way we've been? Not speaking. It's fine. Yeah, you at the gym, I see you, you see me. We don't gotta do that. We don't gotta fake like we friends. We don't gotta fake like we buddies. You allowed to be you over there, and I'm allowed to be me over here. We don't ever have to cross paths, like in a sense of where we're doing something together. We never have to do that. There's no reason for it. Now, maybe in the future, from some weird stroke of luck, we need to do something at the same time. I don't see why that would ever happen, but let's just say it did. By us not talking, maybe it could happen because neither one of us has pissed each other off in the meantime, in between time. Now, I probably pissed him off the other day by not fist pounding him, but I told him we good. Like, we good. Ain't no smoke. We good. That's what I meant, and I meant that. We good. Now, we ain't got to be doing signs of endearment, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's not where we at. We good where we at. I like it like this. And vice versa. If he would have done me that way, I wouldn't take it personal. I'd be like, oh, okay, you still mad about whatever, or you just ain't fucking with me. I'm not going to give you that opportunity to disappoint me or anything like that. I'm not going to pay you attention. It costs too much. It costs too much to give you my attention. It costs too much. I'm not willing to pay for what you have to offer. So I leave it where it's at. Now, some may be like, oh, you should have fist pounded him, man. That ain't really nothing. I don't want you touching me, bro. I don't really care for your energy. I don't want to exchange that with you. I've seen it more than once. I gave you a couple chances because I'm like, maybe I'm being too hard on this guy. And no, you proved me right. So I'm going to treat it accordingly. But I'm not going to disrespect you. Like, you put your hand up, I ain't going to slap the shit down. You know, or I ain't going to be like, no, I don't fuck with you, you a bitch. You know, I'm not going to do you like that. I'll just say, we good. We good. That's that. I don't have to exchange energy with you if I don't want to. It is not disrespectful to decline your friendship or whatever the fuck that was. This is how I'm living. I'm living over here. And you don't have to be a part of my life. Now, and I'm letting you live. I'm not stopping nothing you doing. I'm not getting in the way of anything you doing. I'm not running around bad-mouthing you to people that you know or that we know in common. I don't speak about you. You're not a factor in my world. And I would hope that if someone didn't like me Or if someone didn't care for what I bring to the table, they would do me the same way. Just let me live. Let me do what I'm doing over there. You don't have to acknowledge me. You don't have to bother with me. It doesn't have to be beef for you to not like me. You can just not like me and avoid me, And it ain't like, oh, I see you come in the gym. I'm like, I gotta get out of here. Dude's here. Nah, we can coexist. But we don't have to pretend anything. And we don't have to make this more than anything it is. At this juncture in our life, we are just gym patrons. We both go to the same gym. We don't have to be buddies to go to the same gym. Just like if you say you don't like how I pod, you can just not watch it. You don't have to jump in the comments and be like, man, this is some bullshit. You ain't shit. You don't have to do all that. You can just not pay me any attention. Just like I cannot pay you any attention. If I don't care for, let's say you got a restaurant and I don't care for the food, I don't have to bash it to anybody. I could just not eat this shit. Oh, you want to go to? Oh, no, I don't be going there. I go to such and such. I don't have to talk shit just because I don't like the food. Or just because I don't like what you're doing. I don't got to hate you for it. It costs too much to hate people for no reason. Even if you got a reason, hating people costs. It costs. Because now I have to remember I hate you. So that's costing me. I'm paying you attention. I'm giving you my energy. Those are things I can't get that back. I can't get back the time I spent thinking about hating you. I can't get that back. So when I don't like something or someone, it goes bankrupt on my end. I'm not giving anything to it. I'm not giving it my time. I'm not giving it my attention. I'm not paying for that. I don't like it. Just like if I see some ugly shoes, I'm not going to buy them. And I'm not going to sit there and look for people that's got them on so I could be like, oh, that's them ugly. No. For what? For what? I could be doing something else. I could be living if I just let live. To let live is to live, because now I'm still focused on what I want, what I need, what I like, what I'm doing. That's where you want to be. That's the only way you're going to get better. Worry about you and things that pertain to you and things that make you happy and things that keep your energy right. You don't need to focus on things you don't like. Now, that's not to say, if you have an enemy, that's not to say ignore your enemy. But we don't need to be enemies to not care for each other. It doesn't have to be that way. Now, if you have an enemy, you have to be able to defend against whatever they would be doing. The enemy means, like, to me, the enemy, it's like we both want to shut each other down. Like, whatever it is you're doing, I'm trying to shut you down in that aspect. If you're an enemy where it's beef and we need to fight or even worse, then yeah, I need to be prepared for that. War is war. But I have no reason to be at war with anyone at this point in time. Now, when it comes to war, yeah, that's where my old ways come out. Where, hey, I'm not about to have you're not about to have the ups on me and shit just gonna be alright. But at this point in life, I'm mature enough to know that I don't have to acknowledge this. I don't have to like anything. I don't have to deal with anything that I don't like. And another bit, vice versa. Live and let live, people. It would save you so much headache and time and energy to just live and let live. People ain't gonna change for you, and you don't have to change for people. You change when you want to change. They change when they want to change. And they don't have to change into anything you like. They can change into something you dislike even more. But if you're not paying them any attention, you don't even notice it's happening. You don't see it. It could be there. You don't have to acknowledge it. Same here, though. But that was just something that I noticed this week, and when you're conscious of stuff, you can move accordingly, and it makes things easier. So live and let live, people, man. That's definitely a motto that I've run with, and I actually took the time to break down in a way that makes sense in my head. Live and let live may mean something different to you. This is just my interpretation of the saying. And outside of live and let live, while you're living, there's nothing wrong with finding new audiences, finding new friend groups, finding new business partners, there's a beauty in the audience outside of the one that you're used to. It's beauty in that, because whatever you bring to them, that's what they know of you. Now, some people can go research something and maybe they'll hear something about you. They're still more inclined to believe what they've seen already, what they've come to know. So just stay consistent. If this is you, this is you. If you've grown into something else, that's what you've grown into. Stay consistent with it. You don't have to feed into anyone else's idea of you. It's you. And sometimes it's easier to get with that by finding a new audience. So yeah, live and let live. Don't be afraid to meet new people, try new things, find new audiences. Self-awareness, people. If you gonna shake a tree, know what you're worth, man. And poor Dennis Schroeder, man. That I hope everything turns out good for him. I'm laughing because I think it's funny, but I mean, let's face it, the guy's still making millions of dollars. He'll be fine. It's not like the guy just is not gonna ever make $1 again. Somebody literally just gave him $5-something million to play basketball, so he'll be fine. So I feel like it's okay if I laugh a little bit. I think it's funny. The whole situation I thought was funny because when I saw it happening, I'm like, why is he doing that? Why is he asking for more? And he's not going to sign? That ain't going to be good. Everybody else saw it except him. But I hope he goes and proves whatever he needs to prove so he can get whatever it is he's asking for. Good luck for him, man. And great music pick, Don Toliver, people. Go check him out if you're not already hip to him. Check him out, especially that Donnie Womack album. That one, that's where I started at. The next one was just good. I think that's called Heaven or Hell. I liked that too. Even the new stuff he's putting out, I'm liking that. So check him out, man. If you want to catch a nice vibe, hear something that sounds a little different. Some of his subject matter is consistent with today. It's not as glorifying of unsavory activities, but still good music, man. I like what I'm hearing from him. Yeah, that pretty much sums it all up, man. You see, I did that little recap thing here at the end. I'm trying to keep that going so we can remember ideas that we touched on throughout the day. Yeah, so that's pretty much all I had to say today. About to go get me a nice workout in, ready for that. And then I'm gonna read after that, and that's my reading time after I work out. It just has me at a different level of calm, and I can actually sit there and read and not get bored. So with that, it's your man Cleveland Home if you're professional, Showtime if you're nasty. Thanks for tuning in. Catch you again next week. Peace.